Hello again, fellow Gears. What's up? It's Maticon bringing you another Gears 5 video. This one is on a speedrun on Canals. Now, this speedrun was originally in place on Gears of War 4, but it's been tweaked and remastered by Pro Hitman 1942, Big in the Game, Wickedly Innocent, Colonel Sterling, and Bad Wolf Willie, and myself. We also need to thank Grizzled Hulk, Relaxing Cody, Slaughter00, Mysterio Kill, Morris, and Dr. Schwazi for all of your help on this run. We go into this run with a typical setup of JD, Jack, Dell, and whatever other 2 TPS classes you want to bring. There are 2 fairly lenient required stationary spots, and the majority of all the enemies will spawn around the bridge versus spawn. Also, this run can be a little bit sweaty as the engineer just to set up, but once all the fortifications are in place, it's fairly easy to maintain. Alright, here we go. So the most of them will spawn here in the verses. They'll spawn here and all trickle out to that corner up there. You will get a few stragglers that'll come underneath the bridge. The other spot where they will spawn is up here in this top right corner, right here. And watch out until you get sentries and barriers. They will trickle down there as well before you get set up. Now, the first mandatory stationary spawn, if we have a Kate, is going to be here. She can be anywhere along here. It's not very picky at all. We usually stick them here so you can shoot into that spawn as follows. And then the other required stationary spot is going to be over here by JD, where we stick him. And again, this spot is not very picky. You can really be anywhere within this area. It works. I like being right here because Jack is healing you. And you have access to shoot all 3 areas where the enemies will filter out. But you can come up and stand on this bridge up here and do the same thing. You just want to make sure if you're up here on the bridge that you stay far left, because if you're not all the way left, you start creeping to the right, you'll get spawn that will odd spawn out right there. So heads up on that. Now we have Jack as well healing JD behind the bridge. Jack is a free floater, but that's typically about where they'll hang out, healing JD during the wave, each wave. And then your other DPS spot is a non-stationary. He's a free floater. Stick him up on the bridge wherever you'd like to shoot into the spawns. It'll work just fine. Now, as far as setting this up, when we do that, we get the forge to level 4. We power it up and we stick the forge there. And then we add lockers, and then we'll slowly add barriers first, and then get the sentries out on each spot as well. As far as your boss goes, they'll typically either spawn on the left corner here or up top right most of the time. Occasionally they'll spawn in the versus spawn and trickle out on the left. Mini bosses are the same. They'll spawn in either one of those 2 corners, and occasionally you'll get a sentinel that may spawn right up here. So keep an eye out, heads up on that on mini boss waves. Alright, let's talk about robots and robot waves here, because they mess with speedruns. So on robot waves on this left side, there are 3 spawns that they like to spawn at. We stick the engineer here in this cog during robot waves, but you can shut these down. You'll need 3 level 3 barriers. 1 there, another here, and these 3 barriers are very picky, it seems like. And then another one here. Those in the right spots will completely shut down those 3 spawns, so you don't have to worry about it. There, and here. And I'll have video footage later on in this tutorial showing you the exact placement of the level 3 barriers coming up there. So, and then this other spot where we stick Kate or your other DPSer, that usually a lot of times we're up here during non-robot waves, but that corner robot spawn there doesn't like to shut down. So we moved this DPSer back to here, or you can even be here on the sandbags for robot waves, or the whole game for all it matters. If you prefer to be back a little bit, it all works. However you want to do it will be good for sure. Let's go ahead now and show you the Fabricator location. It's not a super picky Fabricator, but you do want to get it centered and aligned up to this rock piece of cover here, with the taller end facing towards the versus spawn. But just get it center and up against there as close as you can, and that will work right about there. And with that, that's the basic setup for this Canals speedrun. And the fun begins now with all the gameplay footage and everything. Okay, so we're going to start out with the footage here showing you the main spawns in general. You have the bottom left spawn, which is fairly heavy. that JD shoots into, and then the top right spawn, as you can see, as well. And then you will get some stragglers coming underneath the bridge, which, you know, JD has access to shoot all three, whether he's on the bridge up here or if he's down closer to the cog by the stairs. Either way works. And then on this next clip, I'm going to show you these level 3 barriers that are incredibly picky. This barrier, as you can see, is kind of crooked, and it needs to be that way. This is for robot spawns. We use 3 level 3 barriers to stop them and block them completely. Here's the next level 3 barrier as well. And we find this works really well. If you want to, of course, you can just build a couple barriers and put sentries there shooting the robots, but it's really nice and convenient to have the robots not spawning in these 3 spots. And so those are those 3 level 3 barriers to stop robots. And then also you can float a sentry up here if you do wish, and I will show you how to do that later on in this tutorial. And then also here, I'm just showing that Jack is healing JD throughout the entire wave, each wave, whether JD's up by the bridge or down by the stairs. And as you can see, this is kind of like the hangout bridge where the DPSers are in the middle and then the far right of the bridge there as well. Okay, here is a mini boss wave for you. And as you see, I take out that sentinel. It's very easy for JD to shoot that bottom left spawn, as well as the top right spawn up there, and underneath the bridge he has access to all 3, which is what I'm kind of showcasing there. Is you're a lot of fun playing JD because he's shooting everywhere. So, and then here, I just want to say what makes these speedruns and everything so successful is the teamwork behind bringing weapons to the forge. It's so vital that everybody grab a weapon, bring it to the forge whenever possible to get your run going. Obviously, your base gets built up faster. The faster you get perks and the faster the run goes. So I can't emphasize again enough to everyone, please bring some weapons to the forge for Jack on each and every one of your runs if possible. Alright, on to the engineering setup overview. This is relaxing Cody's setup. We have a sentry there and a couple barriers. This is where we keep the forge. Then we have a couple sentries and a couple barriers underneath the bridge, shooting what filters out there. And then down these stairs we have a sentry and a barrier and a level 3 barrier to stop them from going over. And this top middle bridge has 2 sentries in each direction and 2 barriers. Having this middle bridge, taking that over, it definitely helps speed up this run, that's for sure. And then over here we have 2 sentries and a couple barriers. On robot waves, we do move these sentries back to this gold cog, which I'll have a video showing you that here in just a moment. But that's the setup view for this, and as always, you know, don't do what we do necessarily. Make it yours, make it better, and put your own spin on it, because it's always great to see new ideas, that's for sure. And as mentioned up here, you have 2 sentries when it's not robot waves shooting down this hall here, but this corner spawn is a robot spawn that does not like to shut down. So when you do pull robots, it's very easy. Of course, you just slide them back here, and then your barriers remove as well, unless of course you just build barriers for both setups. From there, and here's the other barrier. And then your DPSer over here on the bridge just slides back, and essentially it's just shooting the robots as they come through there. As so. Here is how you get that sentry raised up. Basically, you take a sentry and use it as a bridge to go from one side to the next. And then once he's over there, you just put the sentry down where he can grab it and just pops it on there as so. But with that, that wraps up the Canals speedrun tutorial. It is a fun run, definitely fast, and as always, enjoyed everybody. Thank you.